Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, July 5th, and this is episode 177 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side, the wonderful, the lovely, the stuck on an alternate server.
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing?
I'm doing much better than you, Avi. Here's a little bonus Greenleaf minute for you guys. If you're on a high population server and then you decided you wanted to go log into a low population server so you could get in quicker next time, that's all fine and dandy. But when you want to get back to that high population server, it's going to take you a fucking long time, which we did not know that. Avi's been stuck on our old server, Adamantoys, and trying to get back over to Gilgamesh for now looks like going on 105 minutes. And she's gone from 36 in the queue to 10 in the queue.
Yes, this definitely does not take priority.
So do not do that if you're planning on getting back to your high population server in a reasonable amount of time. But welcome to the show, and to all the Americans out there, I hope you had a fun Independence Day. And to the rest of the world, I hope you had a good regular day. Regardless of where you are from, I would imagine if you're listening to this podcast, you're like us and you spent the last week playing the hell out of Shadowbringers. Thank you to everyone that's taken a little break and joining us here at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank or listening to us while you play via the podcast. However you choose to consume shit, it's okay with us. Some of you like shit so much.
However you choose to consume shit. No, that's not a thing. No, I have to interrupt that.
That took you a while.
No, it didn't. I'm just tired. And that's me trying to be quick right now. No.
However you choose to consume us. Some of you like shit so much you've chosen to subscribe. So thank you much to Aja30 for 19 months, Psyche Games for 8 months, The Steb for 2 months, Sunwise Buddha for 8 months, KK McLeod 14 months, Fyrix 6 months, Screwban first time sub, Mog Moxie 7 months, Segi 76 for 6 months, Kaiser Crates first time sub, and one more hitting that 6-month mark. We have Ace Kaneki Overlord. Really appreciate all the support. Of course, we love to get subs, and you can sub to us via Twitch Prime for free if you have Amazon Prime. And it helps us add equipment to the show to make a better show for you. But there is more than one way to support, and the best no-cost way to support us is to simply tell a friend to check us out. And we'd love that so much. And again, this week, we will be taking your calls on how you're liking the Shadowbringers expansion so far. Are you liking it? Are you hating it? What do you think of the storytelling? Whatever you want to talk about, as long as you keep it spoiler-free. You just need to join our Discord, hop in the On Deck channel. We'll be taking calls at the end of the Greenleaf Minute and at the end of the discussion. And of course, since this is the first episode of the month, the Community Roundup is open to you, the community. If you have something that you are doing that you want to plug, or you have a content creator that you really enjoy, you can call in and plug them, whatever you would like. But let's get into it, Avi. It's been 1 week since early access for Shadowbringer started, and we have a lot to talk about. Let's kick it off with everyone's favorite segment,
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute.
And today we're talking about hunts. Usually when you hear about hunts, you're thinking about the A and S ranks out in the open world where people shout their location and then a mob teleport there and kill it. That type of hunt stays pretty active throughout the patch cycle, so you're probably pretty familiar with them. What people tend to forget about, though, are those hunt board hunts where you can pick up daily marks just for you to do. Normal type mobs that you can solo on your own, but remember that they give great experience points. If you're leveling Gunbreaker or Dancer, be sure to pick up the Stormblood hunt marks in Kugane. Or, if you're at the lower levels as well, the Heavensward ones are useful as well when you're trying to get up to 60. When you are going...
And when you're trying to get up to 50,
yeah,
the Realm Reborn ones,
right?
They go all the way down.
Well, but they don't matter for Dancer or Gunbreaker because you start at 50.
You start at 60. So if you're going to bring up Heavensward, I'm allowed to bring up a Realm Reborn.
Okay. When you're going brain dead and have it on high, you can go and do some hunts. Can really break up the monotony while still giving you that great experience points. Once you get into Shadowbringers and do the beginning quests in the Crystarium, you'll then be able to unlock these new hunts. It's great to pick them up because while you're doing the MSQ, you'll run into these hunt mobs and boom, easy bonus experience points. And if you want to actively hunt them instead of just getting them as you quest along, we recommend bringing up your recommended duty and setting it to hunts. That way, whenever you enter a new zone, it will show you what hunt marks you have that are in that zone. And you can click on them to bring up the picture of the mob from there, and you can click on the location, and it will show you the general location on your map. It's pretty freaking helpful. Now, for those first hunts we talked about, you don't get to pick those up from the hunt board. Those are just spawned in the open, and you get to kill them.
You got to go find them.
We did notice that Ariala's, I never know how to say that, Ariala's hunt tracker has been updated for Shadowbringers, so well done, you guys. And Pete will share that in the show notes as well as chat, and we'll link that, which I just said. If you go there and select your server, Pete, are you able to paste in chat now?
Nope.
Still
doesn't work.
Still doesn't work, huh? All right. I'm gonna copy, and I can't.
We don't need that. Just keep talking.
Nope, I lost my place. It's happening.
But if you go to that hunt tracker,
give me a moment and select your server, then you can see what hunts have been killed recently and which ones should be up if you want to go searching for them. Once it's killed, you can report its death on the tracker so that you can keep other people in the know that it's been killed, and that's one mic hit for the day. You may have seen some pictures of a pretty sweet Triceratops mount going around as well. Turns out that you get that mount from getting some new Shadowbringers hunt achievements. You need to get Shadowbringers your A game.
Shadowbringing your A game.
Your A game 3 and Shadowbringing your S game 3. To get those, you'll need to kill 2,000 A rank mobs and 1,000 S rank mobs accordingly. So
I've already gotten it.
You what?
No.
Oh, you will be hunting for quite a while if you want to get that super awesome Triceratops.
I think I've killed like 3 A ranks so far. That's about it.
People are really, really trying to get them, though. They're working their booties off.
Right, Avi, your favorite segment is...
It's the tweet of the week.
One more time for emphasis.
It's the tweet of the week.
How come no
3
one...
times just because.
It's the tweet of the week.
It's the tweet of the week.
I really want someone to write a review that's like, I really find the tweet of the week so annoying. I'm right there with Avi, but no one seems to agree with me. I think everyone just likes the fact that I'm annoyed with it.
You know what I do? I print out that review, throw it in the trash.
It doesn't negate it.
Trash review.
No. Be my favorite review ever.
And the tweet of the week is from Ace Kaneki. He says, "Hey, you reading this? Come check out one of my favorite Final Fantasy XIV podcasts at She Heals I Tank. You won't regret it." Thank you for that, Ace Kaneki. And Ace Kaneki is doing 2 things to support us, Avi. He subbed and he's telling a friend.
You did.
He's telling many friends.
What I think makes this tweet a little more fun, which you can't hear necessarily from Pete saying it, is there's a lot of caps in there, so it's kind of fun to see.
I thought I emphasized them.
You did, but I'm letting them know.
And now it's time for news and notes from around the realm.
I didn't say anything. Why are there crickets?
Not much news this week, Avi.
That only happens when I say something, usually.
No real news to go over this week. Tuesday was the official release of Shadowbringers, so they haven't really needed to release any news other than, hey, Shadowbringers is out now. Go buy it.
I mean, honestly, that'd be a lot to be like news and that's a lot going on. So I think that's it. News is Shadowbringers is out.
But some things that I would consider news, even though Square didn't really talk about them that much, is there were a couple DDoS attacks that happened during this first week of Shadowbringers. One prevented us from streaming on time on Wednesday this week.
I mean, it put us off by half an hour. It sucks, but it hasn't been incredibly detrimental to playing the game. Just saying.
Thank you for that sub, Ravers Fanatic. And I think Square Enix has really done some stuff to prevent the effectiveness of the DDoS attacks, because with both of them, we were able to be back on playing within the hour, and they were stable. Because there's been plenty of times in the past where there have been DDoS attacks and shit is bad for the whole night. So it's really nice that we were able to get right back in within the hour and have stable servers. Unfortunately, the attacks have been effective enough that they have caused people to be kicked off the game and off the servers. And then you end up having to wait in the long-ass queue line if you're on a high-population server like Gilgamesh. After that DDoS attack, we didn't notice right away because we were AFK. And then when we went to go log back on, we were 3,000 plus deep into that queue. And it's still early, but some reviews have started to roll in for Shadowbringers. Looking at the site Metacritic, they split it into two versions, PC and PS4. With users for the PC version, it's sitting at a 9.5 out of 10. And the PS4 version is sitting at 9.1.
I wonder why.
Only one critic review has come out for the PC so far, and it gave it a perfect 100 out of 100. Two critics for the PS4 version giving it a 95 and an 80 out of 100.
Ooh.
So pretty good so far. I went and looked back at Stormblood, Avi, and the PC version of that had a 8.3 user score and an 87 critic score. And the PS4 version had an 8.6 user score and an 89 critic score. So pretty good for Stormblood as well. And I would guess that most of the reviews are based off the initial release, so 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. I think the high reviews are because Square Enix can tell a really good story when they can release it all at once.
Right.
I think they run into problems when they have to create a story that they probably only have about like 10 hours worth of story, but they have to stretch it over a year and a half.
That's stupid. Just don't do it then.
Well, that's the patch cycle. They
can adjust it. They're the bosses, so they get to choose how it's done.
I told you I wish they would like release all of Hildebrand at once, and then you can skip the MSQ for that patch. I'd like to have more stuff all at once because they're really good at telling a story when they can get the full story out there.
That's definitely true. They've definitely gotten better at telling story, I have to say.
But from what I've played so far, this has been my favorite part of Final Fantasy XIV, period. I think it's better than 2.0. I think it's better than Heaven's Ward.
You're definitely not alone. I do have to say, though, if you play Scholar, you may not feel that way about the way Scholar's playing right now.
I'm not even talking about the jobs. I'm talking purely the story.
I know. I was just throwing that out there because of Salt. I do agree. This has been my favorite story by far. It's almost like they took the Tsukiyomi, God, what's her name? My brain is blanking. I can't even say words.
Just say Tsukiyomi.
That's not her name though. But like, I feel like that her story like connected with people so much, and they took that little bit of story and they just like expanded upon it like crazy in this, and that they understood like how to connect people through that, and that people like to feel, even if it's like a sad or a negative emotion, that by causing people to feel, it creates a better story and it creates a better connection to that story. And they just ran with that for this expansion, and I'm ecstatic. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, you know I'm all about them killing characters off, because I think it makes you feel, and I want to feel. Game of Thrones proved that. Like, you kill characters, people feel. They may be upset about it, but they're happy that they're feeling something. And this, we're not going to go into spoilers, and Y'shtola is totally dead, you guys. I'm sorry, they fucking killed her off. Hardcore, man. I cried for like 3 days, but it was worth it. Totally
You
worth it.
basically just gave a spoiler.
Oh, fuck, didn't I? God damn it. I'm sorry. All right.
So I forgot to look at our on-deck circle after we got through Greenleaf a minute. So I see that we have our friend Icarus in there. So why don't you bring Icarus in so we can hear what Icarus has to say. Avi's going really slow about it. How are you doing tonight, Icarus?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing really good. What do you have to tell us? How's your experience been in Shadowbringers so far?
It's been 10 out of 10. Can't recommend enough. It's been amazing. I'm 78 on my Dark Knight, and I'm trying to go through it as fast, or trying to enjoy as much as I can with the game so far. It's just, where do I begin?
You can't, though, because there's no spoilers. This is a spoiler-free episode.
That's right. That's right. I can't talk about the spoilers,
no,
so I gotta...
except for Y'shtola dying, because that's no longer a spoiler because I ruined it.
Yeah, that's true.
She
that's
so
right.
dies. I mean, she looks fabulous,
spoiler.
but she totally dies.
Bear in mind, you have no idea how the story ends.
I don't. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
But she totally died.
You could be right.
Where I left off, like, she was dead.
You could be right. She could be dead.
Yeah, she could be dead. She could stay dead.
You just gave another spoiler. Like, really, you did.
I did, because she's dead.
No.
You don't know. I'm hoping you guys get to that part in the story and like, God damn it, Avi, she's dead. I know she's dead.
What level are you Avi?
You're like
Out of
legit
curiosity?
giving spoilers.
She's dead.
You're gonna get hate mail. For
I know,
this.
because she's dead. She's so dead.
All right.
level
So
are
what are you liking
on?
about Dark Knight? You said you got Dark Knight to 78. How's Dark Knight playing?
It's playing really good. I was initially a little concerned that it was very similar to Warrior, and I think I've famously told you guys how much I hate Warrior. But I like the way this plays versus the way Warrior plays, because it still feels like it requires some skill. Like you still have to build up to using those windows in the appropriate manner, or else your DPS is kind of all over the place. Utility has been very useful in primal fights. The one that I've done so far. I haven't gotten to the second one. But in dungeons, it's been really, really awesome to tank. It feels like a really great class to play right now. Not that it wasn't in Stormblood, but it feels really good right now.
How squishy do you feel? Do you feel any squishier than you did in Stormblood?
If I'm wall-to-wall pulling, yes. And that was the next thing I was going to get into, because healers. I'm sorry, Avi, but
What are you talking
most
about? I'm
of
a
the time I
dancer.
queue-
This is the She Dances, He Heals he tanks podcast.
I know, but I know you're very strongly opinionated against scholars right now,
Mhm.
but as much as I want to agree with you, the dungeons I've run say otherwise.
No,
Like,
scholars are awesome. They're awesome.
Scholars are the best healers right now.
They're boring as fuck. Boring
but they're the
as
best.
She's not saying they're bad.
No.
She's saying they're boring.
They're boring. I don't want to do it.
no,
I get angry. I'm so bored. I'm like, I have all these stacks I can't use. I'm just standing here running out of MP DPSing because I can't do anything. That's what I don't like.
This as a tank, this is what I've been seeing. Scholars are now the most passive aggressive healers ever.
Yes. Aggressively pushing that
now-
button.
what they're doing now is like, I'm trying to all right, let's it's a leveling dungeon. Let's take this nice.
Pull more on board.
They're
Pull
like,
more on board.
ultimately
Pull more on
waiting
board.
to Pull everything.
I've been
Pull
that
everything.
scholar. I've been that
They
scholar.
run that back, and then they're like, pick it up.
Pull more
They're
on
like,
board.
Here, it's like they're passive aggressively setting the table for tanks now.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay.
I have been
you
that
know what?
scholar.
But you haven't tanked any of the new, or you haven't healed any of the new dungeons yet.
That's true. But my scholar hasn't hit 71 yet because I'm so fucking bored that I actually get angry. I don't like playing it. I seriously just it's frustratingly boring to me, and so I'm not having fun. And so but level it and you might have fun later. Okay.
Her chair is now completely
It
caked
honestly,
in salt.
it looks, from what I've talked to a couple of people after the dungeon was over, and they were like, it was really hard to get into, but once I did, it's good. They're enjoying it.
That's not I don't know. I'm
know
gonna
that's
level
not-
my
that's not-
scholar.
that's not-
I'm going to level it because my retainer is a scholar. So I'm going to level it so that I get her up there. I'm not in a rush to do it. I'm going to finish my dancer first, finish my MSQ first. I will level it, and then I'll be able to give a better opinion on it. But right now, I'm having fun leveling my dancer. I love every moment of it. My scholar, I don't know anybody who watched a stream on Wednesday this week. I got grumpy when I was playing scholar. I physically got grumpy, and I was like, I have to play another class because I can't continue to stream this class because I'm not going to be a nice person.
Yeah, I understand that. That's how I feel about Warrior. I was hate leveling that thing.
That's how I feel. Yeah,
and I was angry, aggressively playing the class. Yeah.
And I still haven't finished dancer, so no, it's okay. So I'm still happy with dancer, so I'm going to wait.
That's good.
I don't want to cut you off, but we do have a few other people on deck. So you have any closing statements?
Okay. I was gonna say, oh shoot, I was gonna mention the healers, mention Dark Knight, and I was gonna mention I really enjoyed what they did with all of the zones and making the zones themselves tell a story.
Yeah, the music's been incredible.
It's a world that developed different than the source, and it shows in all of the care and loving detail that they put into it. I just absolutely loved it.
I think one of the really interesting elements is if you look at like Eos and Celine, the design put into them and the design put into the new Pixies. I think that is a very simplistic visual representation of how the game has developed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I wish my fairies were that well developed.
Maybe you can steal one.
Especially our new friend, our new fairy or pixie friend.
There's multiple. You might meet multiple pixies along the way. You don't know. The pixies are very pretty. All right.
Well, I mean, they all are really pretty, but the one that we specifically
spoilers.
All right.
We saw pictures of her during the live letter.
You don't know.
Avi just kicked you off. What the hell, Avi?
I think she did. That's why.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for calling in, sweetheart. Really appreciate it.
I didn't see who was on deck next, so you'll just have to pick one at random.
Chili was on deck next.
I'll hop on off.
Bye, sweetheart. All right. We got Chili. Hey, Chili.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
We are good, Chili. What do you got to tell us?
Hope you don't hear my button presses because I'm currently in heaven high, but I'm really enjoying Dancer.
Yes.
Got another vote for Dancer.
I must admit that I do enjoy Gunbreaker as well. Both the jobs are really good. It's the first expansion, I think, in ages where I've enjoyed all the jobs.
Now, have you leveled everything to 80 already?
You got to play Scholar next, Chili.
Well, I do have Scholar at 70, so...
You got to find out how fun that's not.
Yeah. But I got Monk to 80 first. I beat the MSQ. The MSQ is fun. I do not fun, but good.
So where would you rank it on all of the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and this one? Where do you rank this one?
Well, like 1 out of 10.
MSQ wise.
MSQ 10.
Yeah.
No, but like, do you rank it better than all the other ones?
Oh yeah, it's definitely my favorite story so far.
By far.
Well, we'll see how the Eden Raid ties in because the Eden Raid is MSQ as I've said in the live letters. So we'll see how that ties in. But so far it's a 10 for story.
I agree.
But overall, I wouldn't have said. I want to go with an 8.5.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are you knocking down a point and a half for?
At least half a point is for the dungeons. At least the earlier on dungeons.
Yeah.
A lot of the bosses use the same mechanics. I'm talking about the literal mechanics, not just like copy and repeat some of the other ones. I mean, nearly all the bosses have at least nearly all the dungeons have at least one boss which does left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't know, I didn't like the fact that they kept repeating that same mechanic.
I get that.
Left and right smash is what he's talking about.
Right.
Yeah. You'll see that a lot. I know some of them add a little bit difference, but it's still the overall same mechanic. And it felt a little bit cheap constantly doing that over and over again.
Okay. So, but you took it down a whole point and a half. Is that enough to take it down?
No, that'd be about half a point.
Really? That is a half a point for you, just the dungeon bosses?
Yeah.
Dungeon bosses are a pretty big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a big thing. You'd be grinding yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Icarus says they do seem a little bit less varied because you'll be grinding these, remember? And if they've already started using them repeatedly at the start expansion, what's it going to be like in future patches?
True.
Yeah. What's 5.3 going to look like?
Is all the enemies going to do left and right?
They're going to do starboard and larboard.
Every once in a while they'll change it up with the starboard and larboard.
Yeah. But yeah, that hit, and then I know it sounds paid, but I don't like the fate grind for the minions. They need to add another level.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the fates a little bit later in the show, so we will get to that.
Yeah.
Icarus did make a comment in chat about the left and right. He says, I wonder if it's a consequence of using the trusts.
Oh, yeah, probably, because
that
it's easy
sense.
enough for them to do that.
Yeah, they have to make sure that the mechanics for the bosses are something that the trust can easily contend with. So that actually would make sense, and we could hopefully see that the better the AI gets on the trust, the better the mechanics can get for the bosses.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally appreciate having the trust there as an option so much that I'm okay with the bosses being easier because of it.
Yeah.
So
it's not the fact that it's easy. It's just that yeah.
Yeah,
but
they're
the
just
dungeons
recycled.
themselves were fun. Yeah, just recycled.
All right. Do you have anything in closing before we get to our next caller?
Go check out Taro TV on YouTube. Also, go check out Mioni's videos. Also, go check out She Heals That Tank at SheHealsThatTank.com. Also, check out Twitch.tv/Radio. Also, check out Radio. Check out Podbean.com. There we go. Done.
All right.
Bye.
I
You
guess
got faster and faster.
I guess that is the community roundup for Chili tonight.
Whoop.
All right.
You can
Now we
always call
got
back.
Agitated Salamander, aka Bogo. What do you have to say about Shadowbringers so far?
I gotta say, I think this is the worst expansion. They killed off Scholar. Like, how would they do that? I mean, I'm fine with the Dancer character they brought in. Dancer's pretty cool, I guess.
But a zero out of 10, huh?
Yeah, 0 out of 10. It made it harder for Dragoons to kill themselves.
How dare they?
But seriously, this is a really, really good expansion. I love it.
It's been a lot of fun.
What has been your favorite part so far?
Favorite part, definitely the story. This is the first expansion that it's the first expansion I was here at launch for, and it's the first bit of story I paid attention to every little bit of it, and it's just really well written and stuff like that.
It's incredibly well written. I've been really enjoying it. I actually was thinking today, I was like, I don't remember when an expansion came out that I felt so inclined to keep playing, I guess. Because I'm not the person, I like to make my MSQ last as long as I can normally. But like with this expansion, I'm like mad at myself that I'm still logged in.
It's kind of like Netflix, releasing a show that you really love and you're just going to binge it.
But I'm not that person, you guys. Like, Pete knows. Like, he's usually, like, hounding me to finish the MSQ because we had to talk about it on the podcast. But I'm like, yesterday it was like, God, 9 hours into playing. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so tired, but I still want to play. Pete, I got to take a nap. I just can't keep going. I'm, like, not giving the story my due attention because I'm so tired right now. Like, but I've never done that with an expansion before.
Yeah, I agree. I've been, like, every time I'm at work, it's the thing at the top of my head. Just, I want to go home and play right now.
And I've never felt that way with a previous expansion. And then I wonder, do other people feel this way about other games? Because I know 14, this is common, but it's never been like this for me personally. So it's been kind of, I don't know, different.
I think it's common. I mean, if a game you love releases an expansion, you're probably into it.
No, like I just said, I love this game. I've loved this game for years. I've never felt this, like, drive to keep going right away because of the story. It's not like, it's not just to be like the first to beat it or to get your first class to 80. It's literally just fully story driven, and it's wonderful. It's like a good book where you don't want it to end, but you also want to find out what happens, and so you're consuming it faster than you should.
Like watching Stranger Things.
Okay.
All right, Bogo, anything you'd like to add? Anything that you are not happy with about the expansion?
Anything I'm not happy about? Well, I'm not in the game right now, and it says there's players in queue in front of me.
That is, a queue has been a problem. And they added a data center, so they thought that would be enough. Remains to be seen if that is going to be enough, because you don't want to add so many servers just for the launch that once people stop playing until the new patch, that some servers are going to feel like ghost towns. So I think it's almost better to have a queue than to have too many servers and have too many low population servers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a fine line. It's one of those situations where it's a very fine line.
Especially once you get in, you can go to a lower population server for a quicker
and then
quicker
get
entry.
Stuck on that server for over 2 hours.
Stuck in there though.
All right, do you have anything else you wanted to add before we move you?
I just alt-tabbed out to jump so I wouldn't get disconnected, and I got disconnected.
This game is real, guys. Pete's number 723 in the game. Pete, you can switch to my screen.
We are just
do the dual screen at least. I don't know.
That's wonderful. Tonight.
I think it's perfect showing the queue. That's totally good.
See all my characters' names.
Well, Bogo, I hope you have better luck getting into the game than Pete does.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You too, sweetheart. Bye.
All right, and it looks like we have Mari Ray on deck now. How are you doing tonight, Mari? And what do you have to say about the first week of Shadowbringers?
Oh, I'm doing right. I rushed home just so I could like talk to you guys because I wanted to. Yeah,
awesome.
I really enjoy your podcast, and I wanted to continue the discussion about healers that you guys had last week.
Yes.
If you're okay with that.
Bring in the salt.
As long as you're okay talking to Avi on her salt throne.
It's tasty.
Yeah. Just some context for like the last raid tier. I've been running a mid-core static, and I was the Astro healer. And when the changes came out, like Astro was already like they didn't have a lot of attacks. They really didn't. They weren't like the powerhouse healers like White Mage or Scholar did. But like we had the cards, and I think what they did with their card system is it's hurting me. It's really hurting me. Like I understand like the reasonings of why they did it, but like it's like they did with the Scholar, it's kind of taking all the lore out of the healing classes.
Yeah. It's taking the challenge out almost.
Yeah, I mean, like the challenge is still there because like now everyone is super squishy.
But it's like a different challenge, I guess.
Yeah, it's a different challenge.
Which is fine.
Yeah, like now it's more like, oh, I just like I don't care about the cards because they all do the same thing, and I just stick them on a person, and I don't really care, especially like in a casual dungeon, if you get a 3% or 6% buff increase.
Right.
But before, like if I was, because occasionally as a healer, you know this, you'll get into a dungeon and the tanks will just have really squishy gear.
Yes.
And you kind of, and before you were able to force them to like be better with Eye for an Eye and with like Bull as an Astro, but now you're just kind of like I don't know what I would.
No.
Yeah. Well, even then, like we have repose, but like that doesn't really help.
No. No, it's bullshit.
Yeah, like as if someone accidentally pulls it, like you're back in that situation again. I don't know. Like I understand what they're trying to do with the healers this time around, but I don't see how this is like good for the healing scene.
It's boring. It's they tried to take away the complexity of playing the classes by making the actual act of healing more difficult. Like you basically have to do it more often, and that's boring. It means I just have to hit the same buttons more often than having to like think about what I'm doing. And I think healers have always enjoyed having to think about what they have to do, and now they're like, oh, we're all white mages now. All right.
Yeah, like I've been
sorry,
I've
been
white
spamming,
mages. Yeah, no, I've been spamming Helios and everything, and I did try Scholar out, and it is like with energy drain gone, it is like
boring.
Well, I mean, it's not even boring. It's like I don't know, like counterproductive because you have these resources, you have Aether Flow.
Yep.
But you can't use it. So maybe you're just playing the game of how low can the tank go before you have to like, heal them, which is not a good game to play.
That which is why, and it makes sense. I think it was Icarus that was saying earlier is that scholars especially are like pull more. I'm bored. Pull more. And I've done that in dungeons multiple times now, and like. It's just, please pull more. Like, I know people have said that it's harder to heal, but I'm bored. I haven't healed you for the first 15 minutes of this dungeon. Please pull more.
No, that's true. Anyway, so that's my healer gripe. That the Astro cards are just incredibly sad right now.
I've also heard complaints from people where you're doing dungeons and you're getting more often than not 2 ranged DPS, and that makes your cards really frustrating.
Yeah, well, like the card setup is already really frustrating because so raid wise, like before you would want to have like a spread, like a balance spread or a spear spread, like a crit buff or just a general attack buff up for everyone, and you could like put it out on everyone and like before you attacked, and it would count. And now you can't do that. Like if you give a card out to someone, it doesn't pop like one of the symbols for divination. I can't say the word today. And so like you're kind of like, because so many times I'm like, okay, if I do this, then I'll have like the perfect spread, but I didn't attack first or heal first, and so I'm not in combat, and so it doesn't count, and it's it's so frustrating.
Yep, the Aether stacks are the same way for Scholar. Like you can't even use them until the fight starts. I fully understand that.
So I leveled Astro to 70, and I felt like I had started to know what I was talking about. Now I'm back to knowing nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I
So
mean,
right, Jon
like
Snow.
Yeah, Astro especially. Cause I main Astro and I would not use Astro for anything like below 50. Like below 50, like even like below like 50 and to 60, like even then it was rough. Like 60 to 70 I could do pretty well and I enjoyed it, but I don't know, Astro is always like kind of a harder class to heal anyways because so many of your skills are card based.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know. It's just I want to like have Bull back and Ewer back just like in case like as a more of a raid utility support person. It was like, oh, my red mage doesn't have any mana because he's been raising everyone. I'm just gonna give him an Ewer.
So you were like the rare nice Astro where everyone else is like, give me balance, balance, balance. And I think that's why they did the changes they did, because people were fishing for balance so often. So they took that into account because they can obviously see the metrics on the card usage. But you're basically like the nice astrologian, and that's that's why you're sad.
Yeah, well, because the complex is gone. Like I understand why they did that because this means it's like less likely if you get double Astro for you to double down on cards for everyone. Like, and that was a huge problem before. And everyone did want to get the spires and the balances for the raid buffs, and you really didn't use any other card as much. Like, but it was still really entertaining to like know like, oh, I got an extended arrow, so I can give this to my black mage or my monk friend, and they can just go crazy DPS, and they will enjoy it. I've actually like with my raid group, there were times where they were like, don't give me this card at this specific moment because it messes with my rotation, and so I had to like learn more to do it. I don't know. This is getting deep into the weeds. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just miss it. I miss it so much, and now I'm seriously considering like running one of the other healers, so I'm not sad during raid.
I do think it's important to check out the different healers now. That's kind of how I felt with the scholar changes. Is that I'm curious if maybe now Astro will be more along my thinking because I'm not tied to those cards. And you miss the cards, so maybe Scholar will be more fun to you, or White Mage, or I don't know. It's just kind of I definitely think healers tend to go in the weeds, and so because of that, you get very upset about losing those elements of your class that really made you enjoy it.
I always thought it would be interesting instead of like getting rid of some of the cards if they had just made the current cards on a set rotation and take out the randomness.
No.
So you know what would be coming up, and hey, Ewer's coming up, so I can give it to this person, or you can burn it to try to get to another card you want.
Nope. I fully disagree.
Well,
sorry, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, like for that would be a problem because that would mean because even now like Division's too long. But it would just cause problem with like balancing of the fights and everything.
Yep. People would like just shuffle through so fast to get to what they wanted.
Well, you put a timer on it. You can only do it. You can only pull a new card every so often.
But it doesn't matter. People would learn the metrics and they would know exactly which ones to skip when, and that's what they would do.
I like being able to plan shit.
That's not why you play Astro, though.
All right. Stupid idea, apparently.
You don't heal.
I mean, it has merit, and I can see like they could have gone that way. But like part of the fun of it was like because like healing has been kind of like multitasking thing. Like it's the job. Like, oh, like everything's going to shit. Yep. I'm just gonna like panic and try to save the whole group. And so like the randomness is kind of like helps you keep your mind busy while you're playing the game.
I just hated doing a dungeon and getting one balance the whole time.
And you get so much satisfaction when you are juggling 20 things at once and then it all works out. And it's not just like what it is now where you're like, yay, I hit the buttons fast enough and they lived. Which is how it feels now.
Yeah, like certain, like, especially if you go into like a lower level place or like if the tanks don't know exactly what they're doing, it can be stressful, but it's like I don't know, like manufactured stressful because this is not how it always was.
Yep.
Like I still have the memories of like, yeah, no, like this is fine. I don't know, like I'll be interested to see what happens in the months to come once they get the feedback for everyone, and like maybe there'll be some changes happening.
I think there will be changes because I haven't seen anyone come out and say I love the healer changes.
I'd love to have a white mage White Mage main call in and hear what they have to say about the changes, because I haven't met many Astros that are very happy, and I haven't seen a single Scholar that's happy. So I'd be curious to see the third healer and see what they have to say.
Yeah. But other than that, the expansion has been a lot of fun. Like, my FC's been crazy, and I'm almost done with the story. I think I have like 2 to 4 hours left.
Nice.
And some of my FC mates helped me not go crazy, because I was like, did I miss this lore part in this instant? And they're like, no, it's manufactured. Like, they just didn't answer that question. I was like, okay, thank you. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I just needed to join in on the healer discussion from last week.
Well, thank you so much for that, Mari. And have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have Aurora who just called in. Hey, Aurora, what's up?
You called for a white mage, and it looks like you got yourself one, Avi. Are you there, Aurora?
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that I got a new headset, and I forgot there's a mute button on the back of it.
That's all right. So what do you have to add to the white mage discussion?
White mage actually got a lot harder to play. The rotation is weird, and juggling, like, now you're in a point now where you have to jealously hang on to all of your MP because you run out of it so quick. Lucid dreaming becomes your best friend.
That's all the healers, though. That they actually cut the recast time of lucid dreaming in half. So you need to know that, like, that is something I've noticed.
Pop it all the time.
Pop it all the time now.
You're popping it all the time, but you're still out of MP.
Me in the club, popping it all the time.
God.
I'm not even gonna touch that. That's all you, Avi.
No, I just roll my eyes.
No. Basically, what happens with white mages after they took away protect? Everybody's taking way more damage, and you are in a constant state of not being able to DPS because everybody's just about to die.
Yes.
So, and it's gotten to be panic mode for white mages.
That's along all three of the classes. That's definitely, like, I think the opinion across the board is that now, instead of focusing on what your abilities do, you're having to just focus on constantly casting them. And that's definitely like a changes, I think, across the board for healers. Is like everyone feels like they're wearing gear that's like 10 eye levels too low for the dungeon, for like the tanks and stuff.
Yeah, and they're not.
No.
Even if you're overgeared. Like, I ran level 60 the other day, and I'm way overgeared for any of those, but it was still the same thing. But then when you and I ran that one dungeon, what was it? 4th of July morning.
I think we just got Stasha or something. Wasn't it something low?
Yeah, it was like weird because I had 400 hit points but 10,000 MP.
Yeah, that is a strange dynamic.
Because everything seems to be percentage based now. Yes. Basically, like it might say 1,000, but it's basically 10%.
Well, yeah, but they don't scale down either though, because you're still, if you have an MP pool of 1,000 points, all of your spells still cost the same as they do at 70 and at 80. So,
but I think it's really easy to get to that 10,000 cap, like for MP. That's why you had it.
Yeah, it actually cut my magic pool in half, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. Everything has been weird because I'm trying. You've got to be able to manage the MP, keep everybody alive, and still sneak in DPS every now and again, so it looks like you're doing your job.
No, well, the whole thing now is that you don't have to don't worry about doing the DPS if you're having troubles keeping people alive. That's basically what Square Enix was trying to do with this whole change for the healers. Is that
I think that's a big part of it. I think a lot of people complained about people being pressured into having to DPS when they didn't want to. So they're like, okay, we'll just make it so you heal all the time.
I just want to say that straight to you right now. Don't stress that trying to sneak in your DPS, especially if you're feeling as pressured as you are with people's lives, like dropping and your MP. Because like as my scholar, I'm watching my MP drop and I'm DPSing, and then I go, all right, if I continue to DPS right now, I know that this big like damage hitting action is about to happen to the whole group. I have to stop DPSing so that I make sure I have the MP to continue with the actions I need to do. You're kind of having to weigh that and stop and take that into account.
And Chili in chat is saying they're even lowering DPS checks and raids to make up for the lack of DPS that healers are expected to push out.
Oh yeah, that was my big thing. It's like I haven't learned a new rotation yet because the flow changed.
Well, that's the thing, is that healers you don't really have a rotation. You have kind of the flow, the way that the class feels, the way the class plays, and that's what you have to kind of relearn, is like what to use to react to each situation and how they play off of one another.
It's a difference between going off of muscle memory and being reactive to what's going on in the fight.
Yep.
And a lot of healers, like, I'm coming from a unique perspective because I went from 1 to 60 in like 3 months, or 1 to 70 in like 3 months, and then everything changed. So I haven't gotten to the new changes.
So as soon as you got used to it, it changed.
Yeah, as soon as I had it all figured out.
I mean, imagine like me, where I've been scholaring for years, and
yeah, well, I heard you complain about Scholar last week.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like playing something where you're used to playing it a certain way for years and then it changing, it might be easier to do that shift if you've been playing it less time. It's still just as frustrating, but definitely like you're not as stuck in your...
I've had to equate it to something else. Like, it's the way I used to heal when I was playing Arresto Druid in WoW.
That makes sense.
Where you stand in the back and drop heal, and then wait for the... Well, they were all hots though, so you had to wait for them to tick. But since we've only got 1 hot as a white mage, well, 2 if you count Medica, but that's an AoE hot. But instead, it's cure, and then cure until it procs the free cure too.
Right.
So
that's how White Mage was always kind of meant to be played, at least at the lower levels. So I think they're taking White Mage lower levels and treating that as how you're supposed to play it now full time. It was always about getting that proc.
Yeah, that's how I used to play when I was like level 16 and just doing dungeons to start with. And I shotgunned all of that content.
Well, to me, it sounds like we need to have a healer episode coming up soon, so we can get
let's do it.
An expert from every job, and then I can tell you all why they all suck.
I wouldn't call myself an expert.
But we're running a little bit long, so I don't mean to rush you, Aurora, but we're going to move on so Avi can try to teach me some fucking lore.
Have a wonderful night.
Thanks for you guys too. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Teaching me lore so he'll know some shit.
Teaching me lore, or at least you're trying. You're doing your best. You're giving it the college try. You haven't stumped me yet, but
except I have.
Today could be the day. You never know.
Yes. All right, Pete. So this question is again one where you have to match them.
Oh my God! I nailed this last week, and you're gonna give me another one?
It is.
You didn't give me a chart or anything to match them up on.
No, that's because this is one where you actually have to like read the description. Well, I'm gonna read the descriptions, and then I'm gonna try to enact them for you, and you're gonna have to pick. Okay, so this is from Rathok in Discord. And it's, which of these emotes is the salute for the free company?
You better not give a Heil Hitler.
No. I could have broken these out and done one that was real and 3 that was fake, but because I was really busy all day, you get all 4 at once.
Okay, I don't really know what's going on, but we're running along.
Right.
You got it. Speed it up, baby.
All right, so you know that I just closed the thing I meant to look at. You know that we have the Storm Salute, the Adder Salute, the Flame Salute, and the Imperial Salute.
Oh, are you kidding me? You're going to tell me which one is which?
Yeah.
I don't know that shit.
You should know them. It's just the emote. All right. So the first one is where your right hand is open and flat, and your fingers are to your brow, palm facing forward at a 45-degree angle and down.
That sounds something nerdy like Gridania would do.
Okay, well, how about we read them all to you first? I showed them all to you first before you start giving the answers.
No.
Because that's not right. So how about I let you have some more time on this. So again, right hand open and flat, fingers to the brow, palm toward the face. I'm sorry, I did it wrong way. And arm at a 45-degree angle.
Oh, now that you did it right, of course I know.
I turned the hand around. Sorry about that. So the next one is both hands closed, arms level and crossed in front of the chest with palms down with a bow. So that goes, oops, I hit the mic. This. Okay. Next one, sorry guys,
Jesus Christ. This is a train wreck.
I'm actually enacting these out for him. This is the last lore question I had, okay? All right. Both hands closed. Right arm level across your chest with the palm down, and left arm level across the back. And that one goes like that. And
this is amazing for the podcast listeners.
Right? So I'm explaining it, and then I'm doing the inaction. Reenacting.
That doesn't help them.
Well, no, I actually read these descriptions, and then I looked them up on YouTube, and what I pictured was exactly what I did. So it worked out really well. So finally, D is right hand closed, held at eye level on the left side of the head, palm towards lower back. Oh, I don't remember this one. Wait. Yep, I gotta view this one again so Pete can see the video. So this one is right hand closed, held at eye level on the left side of the head, palm towards yeah.
Is the name of the video going to give it away?
No, maybe you can read that far. So this one is where your right hand's closed and it's held down, and then your left hand comes up to your head, and then it goes down. Cross your body, up to your head, and down at a 45-degree angle.
Okay, that one will be flames.
Okay.
The first one, I'm gonna go
with the salute.
Ishgard.
Okay.
Is Ishgard one of the answers? What?
No.
I thought there were 4
grand companies. I know, but one of them is the Garleans. How about that? Imperial.
Oh.
It's all the 3 grand companies and one of the Garlean Imperials. You want to start over?
No. First one.
Mm-hmm.
That will be Ulda.
Okay.
Second one will be Limsa. Third one will be Gridania. Fourth one will be Imperial.
Those are all wrong.
I said fourth one Imperial.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you just say fourth one Imperial?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You've seen my notes now. For the other 3, which are the easy ones,
again,
are all wrong.
I got 1, and if I get 1, that means I got the whole question right. So
you got it wrong
still
before.
Undefeated. Let's move on from this train
So
wreck.
anyone who's asking, the first one was the Storm Salute, the second was the Adder Salute, and the third was the Flame Salute. Wait, you said first was Limsa, or you said first was Gridania?
I don't remember. All I know is I got it right.
I tried. I'm sorry, Rathok, for messing up your question. I wasn't sure how this would read on the podcast, but I really tried. And everybody here who got to see me do this live got to see me do those super fun.
And if you are listening, consider yourself lucky that you didn't have to see it. Moving on to some discussion, Avi. We've been playing Shadowbringers for a full week now. Probably most time we've ever played an expansion right off the bat.
Yes. That's what I was mentioning before.
I think we played way more than Heaven's Ward and Stormblood for sure.
Way more.
For me, it's actually been the story that's keeping me engaged and wanting to keep on playing. Even more so than just wanting to be prepared for the raid, which is why I thought I was going to be pushing my way through it. So let's talk about our progress so far. What level are we? How we've been leveling? What we're maining? Etc. You made Scholar and Stormblood.
I made Scholar and Stormblood.
You made Scholar and Stormblood. I make one Bumble with all the shit you've been doing. You're going to call me out on it?
That was like 3 Bumbles in a row.
You've given it a try in a dungeon a few times now. You're pretty salty on day 1. I was going to ask you if you're still pretty salty. We already know you're pretty salty.
Yeah.
So we can skip question.
You did that freaking stream with me on Wednesday. You should have known the answer to that. But I guess you didn't know that I would talk about it already.
Did not know.
No. So, Pete, for the majority of Stormblood, you were punching stuff in the butthole as a monk.
Boom. Right in the butthole.
Your plan was... I'm reading his words, guys. Your plan was to go straight to Gunbreaker as your main in Shadowbringers. Is that what you did, or was the allure of punching butts enough for you to stick with Monk?
Well, Avi, as much as I love punching butts, it was my plan to go Gunbreaker right off the bat. And I didn't do it. I had to change up my plan a little bit.
Oh, no.
Because, unfortunately, had to level Gunbreaker from 60 to 70. And unlike you, I was not able to just fucking farm 24/7 Heaven on High until I got to level 70.
It was painful. It's not like it was something I had fun doing. That was effort.
Yeah.
That was Scholar Spite fueled effort.
Don't know why you did that.
That's what that was. That was, I'm not playing this goddamn scholar. I'm playing Dancer in MSQ.
We're moving on from the Scholar Salt.
I can't.
I know that's
okay,
all.
Okay, then
you
I'm done for the podcast. I have nothing else to talk about.
You can talk about stuff you like Dancer.
You know, because that is also related to the Scholar Salt.
So I had to switch it up a little bit because I could not do Heaven on High over and over and over again just to get that to the MSQ. So I started the MSQ as a monk, and I have to say I'm really happy with my decision because I was able to get a lot of the story and level Gunbreaker via roulettes. And I think that was way more efficient because now I have my Gunbreaker just yesterday surpassed my monk. So I have a level 76 Gunbreaker and a level 75 monk.
Well, goddamn.
So,
I have a level 76 Dancer, and that's it.
Yeah, so I got another job that's...
You've been playing quite a bit more than I have.
I don't think so. I think I'm just way more efficient than you.
Maybe, because I'm just about story right now. Like, I'm story only. That's kind of it.
I'm just better. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I will say something I do that you probably don't do is when I'm going through MSQ, if I see a fate up, I do it.
Oh, I don't do that. I actually was even bad on the first two maps. I didn't do the Aether Currents as I went through the MSQ in that area. So the second two, I was much better about that. So I'm going to have to go back to those previous maps and make sure to catch those up.
Yep, I ferried your ass all over Ilmeg, getting you the Aether Currents.
Efficient, and I'm like, story. I'm just like...
I'm just as far in the story as you are.
No, it's not about like progression through the story because that's about efficiency. I'm literally like a horse with blinders on where all I see is story, and that's... I've almost caught up to you in story, and you were a lot further ahead of me.
Because I'm waiting for your ass.
Well, that's because I took a nap.
Food coma.
It was a food coma.
All right, so you're all in on Dancer then. I haven't really heard you complain about Dancer. Has there been anything you really didn't like about it so far, or are you just all in? You're so high on it, you don't have any complaints?
I mean, no, I really, really enjoy Dancer. I've mentioned that I was on Twitter. I was curious to see what the material would be. People would say was like whether it was crit or skill speed. And of course, the meta is crit. And I was really hoping it would be skill speed because one of the interesting things when you're playing Dancer is that when you actually do your dances, the time for the next ability really speeds up. And so then you notice it feels really slow to do your abilities in contrast at times. If you're not having that RNG hit for those other abilities to fill in those gaps, it can feel really slow to wait for those next abilities. So I was hoping that skill speed would be the meta that would really make it play really fun.
That's kind of why they didn't give Monks Grease Lightning 4 for so long. They didn't want it to be so fast.
Yeah. And I mean, and I get that, I guess. I mean, but you're asking if I have any complaints. That would be it. And then I also kind of noticed that, like, so I was weaving in leg graze and foot graze before, but I also realized later that now those don't offer any damage.
I don't think they ever did.
Did they never? I didn't play a class that ever had those before, so I was like, okay.
I think they just stunned or silenced whatever they did.
Leg graze does heavy for 40%, and foot graze is binds the target. But then what's really annoying is it cancels your auto attack. And so I was honestly just trying to make sure that I was viewing it as playing my class as efficiently as possible to make sure all of my abilities were being used, and that was one that I realized I did not need to be using so much as I was. I guess I was trying to make the class more difficult than it was by doing that because of those time periods, especially where they had that kind of lull in the recast time. And so I was like, I can fit both of those in a single recast time easily. No pain in that. And it was kind of a waste of my time.
Sounds like you should play Monk.
Nope. You play Monk. I'm good. I like that I don't have positionals. I really like that I don't have positionals. I do find it interesting that I feel like they call Dancer a range class, but it's kind of like a melee ranged hybrid because like your AoEs have a very short range. And so I can see a lot of dancers who are actually paying attention to their AoE abilities getting hit by the attacks that the mobs do that are like the ground attacks or the AoE attacks because you're having to stand in the middle of the group in order to make sure that all the mobs get hit by that. Yeah. So that's something I can see healers having to pay attention to and the dancer having to pay attention to. Like the reason the dancer's in the middle of all the shit is because they have to be in the middle of all the shit to make sure the mobs get hit by all of their abilities.
It's still better to move out of the AoE and you miss a couple mobs.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying for people who are playing this class who are used to playing ranged classes, that wasn't something you had to think about before.
Oh, yeah.
That's a melee ability you have to think about. And so it's a different mindset.
Yep, you gotta be smarter.
No,
it's playing melee, you gotta put that big brain on. Can't be one of those ranged people.
That's why...
More like deranged, am I right?
That's why I said I feel like it's more of a hybrid between the two, because it's not something as a ranged player I ever had to think about before. So I have to be conscious of where I'm standing to make sure I hit all the mobs, and then also make sure that I move out of the damage. And so I just wanted to say that in the podcast so that people who've only been playing range classes who are playing this, probably a lot of healers who are salty who've been enjoying the RNG-ness of Dancer, understand that yes, you have to stand in the middle, but you do still need to dodge.
The RNGesus.
Yes.
Wow, you look at the outline of. You gotta ask me some questions too.
So you're into Dancer so far.
That's what I just did.
So you were very hyped for Gunbreaker. Now that you're a week into it, how are you liking it?
You're really selling these questions, Avi. God, I wish I could fire you.
Me too.
In the mid-70s.
That was my tongue.
It's finally starting to hit its stride, I think. I had thought it was going to play a little bit quicker than it turned out to be, right at 70. Like, from 60 to 70, I thought it was going to play a lot quicker than it was.
Gunbreaker?
From 60 to 70, yeah, it was kind of boring. Like, I like the abilities, but it was tank boring, I guess. I guess all tanks... Pretty much anything under max level now gets to be boring because you lose abilities and they put the better abilities higher up near the level cap. So it's just like inevitable that it's going to be not as good.
With the recent expansion too, most of the classes at the lower levels are more boring.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
as a whole.
Every expansion has done that.
Right, but this was a bigger gut than most expansions, and they acknowledged that it was a bigger gut.
I mean, I feel like they did quite a bit at Stormblood too. But whatever. The lower level you are, the more boring your fucking class is. That's just how it is.
Chili keeps typing unless you're monk, unless you're monk, unless you're monk.
Nah, I played monk at level 50. That shit sucked.
Okay.
But after you hit level 70 and you get the continuum ability, that's where the pace of play really starts to kick up for Gunbreaker, because you can use a cartridge and you're hitting buttons more often. You can use a cartridge that, like one cartridge, you can do basically 6 abilities off of.
Kind of like Flourish for Dancer.
Instead, I don't know that, but
I'm telling you, it's like Flourish for Dancer.
You tell me a lot of things. I don't know they're right. I gotta fact check you.
Flourish gives you 5 abilities.
Agree with it.
I'm right. I was actually going to agree with you and say it's 72 for Dancer when you get Flourish, and then you just turn into blah, 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 blah.
That's how I do.
That's how you sound.
So yeah, and then you get another ability that basically gives you 2 cartridges after you've just used 2. Has a fairly long recast timer, but it's nice when it's up. So you can just start blasting people with your AoE rotation. Do 2 AoE rotations, you do 2 AoE cartridges, you pop that ability, you have 2 more AoE cartridges, and then... Hey, look at that, Avi. I am back in game. I sat through the Gilgamesh queue while you're still in that world transfer queue.
Yes, this is also informative for people in game. I'm this whole time Pete got logged out, got back into Gilgamesh, one of the higher populated servers, and I've been trying to transfer back to Gilgamesh from Adamantoys. I am number 6 in the queue. The time elapsed is 165 minutes.
So, yeah.
I think I'll be on Gilgamesh by the time the podcast ends.
Maybe. It's almost over.
My gosh.
So yeah, cartridges are good. Once you hit like level 75, you get that ability to give you 2 more cartridges, something like that, 75, 76. The invulnerability of Gunbreaker takes your HP down to 1. And that's quite different than what I'm used to with Hollowed Ground on Paladin.
That makes me go, oh shit, and I'm not even healing. I'm like, what happened to the tank?
So that's taking a little bit of time for me to get used to and exactly when to use it. Because there have been times where I'm like, okay, I'm getting pretty low. I'm going to use it now. And then, or I'm about to use it, and then they lustrate me, and then I hit it right after they lustrate me. I'm like, I just fucking wasted that.
Yep.
But
if you're a scholar and they're using lustrate, they got a lot of them now because they aren't using their stacks for anything else.
I don't know how they work. I don't. But I've done it on a benediction before, so I don't know how many of those they have. And it's just like, oh, are you kidding me? I popped it right before you use that. So yeah, so I'm trying to like let it get down as low as I can. So I'm at like 10% HP, and I'm like, you better fucking use a lustrate or a Benny right now, because I'm gonna.
That might be a good ability to put a macro with, not necessarily a sound effect in chat, but at least text in chat to say, hey,
heal me, bitch.
Yeah, essentially, like, I just fucked myself. Please heal me.
No.
It doesn't. It freaks out your healer because healers don't necessarily. Not all of the healers are used to that ability yet, and they're like blah 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 heal. What the fuck just happened? Like,
see, now the only reason it should really freak them out is when I fat finger it when I'm just on like a 1 pack of mobs, and it's like, whoa, that fucking.
Even so, though, you're like
fucking wolf
you're
hit you hard.
Keeping an eye on that tank's HP, and like to see them like
See, that's the thing. You don't use it when you're high HP.
No, isn't high. Is like, you have enough. You have some HP. I can heal him through this.
But I'm talking about like 10%.
But use it only at 10%?
That's what I'm trying.
No, that's a waste of an ability. You never use it.
How is that a waste of an ability?
That's like White Mage holding on to Benediction when they only needed it. Like, you use it when you got it.
Not my ability. You don't use it when you got it.
Not only when you got it, but you don't only use it. It's got like, what, a 2-minute cooldown?
2 or 3, like it's a long cooldown.
And so you use it every 15 minutes?
Yeah, I only use it. It's the oh shit button.
I know, but my comment is that an oh shit button that can be reused every 2 to 3 minutes should not be used every 15 to 20.
I think it's like 6 minutes.
Well, then let me know the cooldown. You probably got it pulled up right now. What I'm saying is the cooldown on it, like, people don't need to hold on to that oh shit button unless it's only an oh shit. If you've got it,
that's why it's an oh shit button. It's for oh shit moments.
It's
you don't just fucking blow benedictions when they're at 90% health just because you have it.
Not at 90% health, but maybe at 30% health, because you know you're not going to have that issue again for another 5 minutes. You'll be fine.
I'm going down as low as I feel comfortable.
5 minutes for Gunbreaker. Every 5 minutes you can use that ability.
Yeah, but there's no reason for me to use it at 50. There's no reason for me to use it at 40 or 30. I'm getting down 25% highest I would use it
I'd
at.
say 25-30% you can use it. I'm not saying use it all the time, but anytime you're there, like, there's no hurt in using it. Same with Benediction. I found as a White Mage, like, I would hold on to it, and then I never used it. It was only this oh shit button. And you use it, you only treat it as that oh shit button when you're doing raid fights, or you're doing those like long instance primal fights. But when you're doing dungeons and stuff, fuck it. When you're at 25-30%, use your abilities. You're going to get them again.
Because I'm so good at tanking that I can use my other mitigation abilities effectively. I don't need to use something that takes my HP down to 1. That just makes it harder for the healer.
I think it's funny. Honestly, you guys don't want me to
I'm gonna go
because I would be like, first pull, pew, fuck you, and it'd be down to 1.
Thank you for that sub, Mocha Jones.
Because of the healer salt.
Just because of you, Avi. I'm gonna try going through all my roulettes and using my fucking oh shit button as soon as it's up.
Aurora just subscribed for 4 months in a row because the healer salt is real. I'm not saying to use that oh shit button when you're at like 50-60%.
I may use it at 100.
I think it's
as soon as it's up.
I think that's hilarious, and I think you should.
And I'll make you heal me.
Okay. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funnier when I'm not healing. But what I'm saying is I don't think people need to treat these air quotes oh shit buttons as this thing that can only be used in oh shit situations. I think it can be used a oh situation. Like, you've got it. It's a tool in your arsenal. Don't only use it at those sparing times. It's a good tool. There's a reason it's there.
Thank you, CG Lancers. 8 months.
I love that we're getting all these subs when I'm salty, and I'm like, no, use your tools. It's part of your toolkit. Use them.
You don't just use a tool because you have it.
Yes,
has to be for the right fucking situation.
What I'm saying is you're trying to wait for such a specific situation that the tool rarely ever gets used. It's going to rust. It's going to get squeaky.
When you have a torque wrench, you don't use it as a fucking hammer.
If you don't have a hammer, you do.
But I have a hammer.
You ever used a wrench as a hammer? I totally use. Ooh, Chili even said that's what she said. ooh, Chili's never on my side, and Chili was just on my side. Use your tools. That's what they're there for.
I use my tool all the time.
Icarus just cheered 100. Oh, he agrees with Pete on Gunbreaker.
Agrees with me.
But Avi for all other tanks.
Yeah, because
I don't tank, so
like Hollowed Ground, you get the invulnerability part of it, but you don't get the drop you down to 1.
I don't tank, so my entire argument is that you should use your tools, not like Gunbreaker's ability. I just have to say, like, my entire argument is about using those tools, which is why I keep relating it to Benediction, because that's a tool I'm familiar with. That tool to me is just funny because it freaks people out, and so I feel like you should use it like you would your paladin ability, because I can get you healed up from that so easily as long as you don't use it at a really, really bad time.
Make you fucking heal this week.
No, you can't make me do shit. You're not the boss of me.
I married you, so I kind of am.
Nope, I'm the boss of you.
You
Get
did-
this right. Pete's gonna start healing, and I'm just gonna dance on his dead corpse.
Your dad paid me 3 goats to pawn you off on me.
That's a lot of goats.
All right. Well, if you think 3 goats are a lot.
Where I grew up from, it is.
All right. So I think we're going to we're going to talk about trusts and fates. But I think we're going to keep that for next week because you got to get to your Greenleaf stream. You're going to be running with Hyper Pixie through Crystal Tower for her first time.
As long as she can get back into the game in a reasonable amount of time.
So
I'm still waiting to get into Gilgamesh.
We're going to get into the community roundup, partner. So if you have anything that you guys would like to plug for the community roundup, go ahead and jump on that on deck circle again.
I don't know. We did. Already got one. Okay.
We want to hear what you guys have to talk about. And since we already got one, go ahead and bring in Mocha Jones. How are you doing tonight, Mocha Jones?
I am good. Just actually got onto my computer because I decided not to want to turn on.
Seems to be the way it works when you want to use it.
Oh, of course.
What do you got for the community roundup tonight?
I put it in the Discord. So, as you know, I've been doing these crazy challenges for Extra Life.
We have seen some of those streams, yes.
Yeah, well, our actual team is going to have a 48-hour stream coming up on the 19th.
Oh, honey.
So how many people are on your team?
Fun.
How long is your shift?
My shift?
I heard shit too. No, it's not you. It's all of us.
I had to swallow stuff. Anyway, my shift, I have 2 of them. I'm going to be on that Saturday at like 8, and then some other random time.
8 Pacific, Eastern?
Central in the morning.
AM, PM, morning. Okay.
AM.
And it's Mocha Jones, twitch.tv/Mocha Jones 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my channel, and then our team's channel is actually Quilt City Heroes.
That's awesome.
And what children's hospital are you raising money for?
We're raising money for Norton's in East Kentucky.
That's awesome.
All right, so any Kentuckians listening right now, be sure to check out Mocha Jones 10, his stream raising money for some local children's hospital.
And his streams are always really fun. He does things like where he eats like the beans of every flavor. You ate
the nasty
baby
jelly
food.
beans.
Those nasty jelly beans like taste like earwax. Baby food. Something else you did. I'm forgetting something else you did.
I got diapered in the face.
Diapered in the face. I remember there was a diaper and I just didn't want to say it and be wrong.
Yeah, that was fun. My wife had fun doing that.
I'm sure she did. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Well, it was not real poop and pee in there. Just disclaimer.
I should hope so.
Either way, it's still fun to watch.
Well, thank you so much, Mocha, and definitely everyone listening, go check out Mocha Jones 10, raising money for some children's hospitals. Thank you for calling in tonight.
Thanks for having me, and Avi, keep being salty.
Yes! Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, and it looks like Chili's pushing his luck. He already gave some plugs earlier. We gonna allow Chili back in to do the community roundup?
We'll always allow Chili back in. I wasn't ready.
I was hearing double voices.
Oh no, you didn't mute us. I saw you were green, but like on Discord, I was like, maybe I shouldn't drag him in, but it's too late. It already happened.
All right, you're getting double plugs in. What do you got for us, Chili?
Sweet, I'm good at this. Go check out Ian. Go check out Mocha Jones' channel at twitch.tv/MochaJones_10. Also go check out Master Radio at twitch.tv. Also go check out the Umber FC at Gilgamesh. Also go check out Phoenix Down Radio at twitch.tv. Also go check out This She Hills I Tank at w.glsitang.com. Is that enough?
I feel like when you see me laughing on stream, you get faster.
Maybe a PlayStation Unchained in there?
Yeah, go check out psu.poppy.com for my Places Universe podcast. Also check out twitch.tv PSU Live.
I want to record you. Someone needs to clip Chili. That was one. God damn. And I thought I talked fast. That's like, woo.
Well, thank you so much for that, Chili.
We love you, Chili.
No worries. Love you guys too.
You too,
Make sure you keep, check the podcast every week on a Friday at your local time zones.
Whenever it is time for you where you live.
Yeah, I think Icarus has a good suggestion. If you ever feel like giving up video games, you can be the disclaimer guy in drug commercials.
I feel like we need to do some sort of joke ad with that, Pete, and then end it with Chili reading all the disclaimers at the end.
I'll let you head up that project.
Damn it.
Or an auctioneer. You can be an auctioneer as well.
Yes, you'd be good at that.
All right. Thank you, Chili. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
All right.
Make sure you follow up.
I pulled him out. I'm sorry, Chili.
And I had a couple community roundups just in case we didn't get any callers. Gamer Escape and Garland Tools have both been updated with 5.0 information. So on Gamer Escape, I thought a cool thing was they had it so you can go check out what headgear shows on the Viera and Rothgar. And I really like Garland Tools so I can look up all the new minions and mounts and figure out how to get them. So go check out both of those sites that have been updated with 5.0 information. And Garland Tools really good for your gatherers out there. You can find out where all the new gathering nodes are as well. Listener reaction.
At Renace, Renaise.
This is in regard to a poll I put out with, do you miss having to manage your TP as a tank? And the two choices were no or hell no. Hell no's winning.
The only TP management I want to have the bother with is the toilet. Thank you.
Same here. And Gunbreaker Zero says, woo, She Dance, He Tank is back tonight.
That's right. New podcast name, She Dance, He Tank.
Broly489 says, if I weren't at the beach this week, I'd be playing Final Fantasy X during downtimes. I'm fast approaching Xanarkand, and I need to actually beat it.
Pete actually gets all of those references now.
And this was during the DDoS attack, and our wasting time was throwing our cat in a sack and swinging him around.
He loved it.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
But actually, one of our listeners said, my cat likes that exact same sack and likes to be swung around, so it's not a weird thing.
We're talking about a grocery bag, not like a sack of money.
Don't you keep like a freaking burlap sack around just to swing your cat around, your pussy around in? I made Pete do the eyebrow twitchy thing that he's like, that was sexual. And he couldn't talk.
He's trying to work out my pussy into it.
Wouldn't
come out.
I love when I get like something that's more sexual than he expects and he's like, words? Yep. Boobs.
And rounding it out, we have Edge Odinblast, who says, we all need a Buscemi minion in our Final Fantasy XIV lives now. Wasted opportunity to say, meow.
Really?
Right, meow?
Oh, his wasted opportunity. I thought you meant I hit the mic like 6 times.
Damn it.
He's going to be so mad at me. It's the mic hit episode. Yes. Sorry, guys. Love you.
Hey, someone joined me on stream tonight. Just noticed.
Because you weren't there for half the time. All right, Pete, is there anything else you want to join? I forgot to give Pixie a heads up that we were at the outro.
That's okay. You don't need to say that. You can just read the outro.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Nope.
I was saying that because I was typing that to her and it gave me a moment to type that to her. So thank you.
Right, meow. You can do the outro.
Thank you, Ian.
It's the
No, it's not. So that is going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you know the next time we will be going live. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and that other TikTok app or whatever the fuck it is that makes me feel really goddamn old that just came out last week. You really are the reason we keep making episodes.
What doesn't make you feel old?
Your mom. But remember,
doesn't even make sense.
Wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or a review. Or, tell a friend to check us out. Also, everyone in chat agrees with me and is calling me a roaster and agreeing that was actually a good comeback.
I think they called you a rooster.
Nope. So, here with Vegan Pete, I'm Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.